Sorry, I'll cut you off. Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Al.
Hello, I'm Seth, and we're two MPPs from cohort 6. And today we're just going to talk about what are some things we wish we knew before we did the MPP. And I think the first place we can start is both Al and I are not your traditional MPP students.
Mm.
You did
Pharmacy.
Yeah, and then I did engineering in my undergrad. But I mean, at the same time, I don't really think there is a traditional MPP in the sense that, you know, you have your typical person who probably did poli-sci or econ, worked in the government for a little bit, then came to McGill. I feel like anybody could do the MPP at McGill and could be an MPP in the next cohort.
I think so too. Like, I think I psyched myself out at the beginning, kind of thinking, oh, like, I don't fit this traditional mold that I thought of being a poli-sci student or having this kind of huge interest in that area prior to actually starting, and I would do too much preparation. I would say you want to get like a little decent kind of overview of what it looks like before you start, but you don't have to do a huge deep dive. I think that they meet you where you are here and they kind of help guide you with, I guess, all the help that you need if you don't have that background. But yeah, I don't think that we had to be a specific person or fit a specific mold just to succeed here. I think that success looks very different.
And like on the faculty meeting you where you are, I think that's a big thing, because one of the anecdotes I always tell people is like, I remember I did global policy as my first class, and I remember just sitting with our professor at the time, and it was office hours, and I was just like, I didn't really read poli-sci or academic papers, so like, how do I read? And she taught me how to read, and that seems like a funny thing, but you know, the faculty really does meet you where you at, and they are very accommodating, which is good. I definitely think you can come into the MPP with either an open mind and you can become a generalist and have take different classes, but as well, you have the opportunity to do a bit more of a tailored approach, like similar to what you did. If you want to do more global policy stuff, then that's something you can do. I came into the degree thinking I'd do a lot more climate and environmental policy stuff, but one of my favorite classes ended up being on asylum and refugee policy.
I think I came in wanting to like learn health policy, and while I kind of got more of a global policy lens through that, I definitely left learning a lot more about monetary and fiscal policy, which I enjoyed. I think along those lines, you don't need to be an expert on everything. I came here, again, being really frazzled, thinking that I had to know so many different things on so many different topics in terms of policy and then theory, which my science brain really struggled to kind of understand coming into it. But again, like, we came into the program, they meet you where you are, they help you along the way. All the professors are like able to provide a coffee chat or have office hours for you to sit down and kind of fill in those gaps that you feel like you might be struggling in.
And like more on getting, like, filling in those gaps from other people. I think something I wish that I had known going in is how diverse the cohort would be. I honestly came in thinking I would be like the only science person, and I would be sort of the odd one out, and everyone would have policy experience and everyone has done a poli-sci course. But no, like, the cohort was so diverse. You can take all these different courses and everyone will know certain things that you might not, and you can start to learn from your peers, which is an incredible experience.
It wasn't just a diversity in like background and like where they're from, it was also age, which I found really interesting and really valuable about the program. I came in here, you had people who have been working in the industry for quite some time, and that was just a really interesting and valuable experience to bring to like group projects or like the policy lab.
I think the policy lab is a great example of where you start to see that, because the groups you get set up with, it's very diverse, and you don't really know who you're going to be with. You'll definitely have some people who have already worked in industry and know what it's like to contact people or organize group meetings and stuff like that. So I think we just learn from each other as much as we do from faculty. Which is a great feature of the MPP, I think.
We're at McGill, and we have kind of our own dedicated floor with, you know, our own study spaces and places to like eat lunch, but we also have the rest of McGill, and that's a huge thing that I think people kind of often forget about. We have International Student Services, there's the Student Wellness Hub, there's Thompson House where you can go get some drinks. There's also PGSS there, who are the larger student society for graduate students, and they offer French lessons there. Don't sell yourself to this one place, although it's very comfortable and very welcoming, but definitely, you know, explore the rest of Montreal.
It's easy, especially when things get busy, for us to feel like we just have to spend all our time here at McGill studying, and it's very easy to get into that mindset, but we're also in Montreal. Both Al and I, we moved to the city to do our MPP, so we weren't from here, and Like, it's a fantastic city. There's always something happening, even though it's winter. Like, you have different festivals.
There's the Montreal website, and then you can just like see what events are coming up. Oh my god, there's always a concert. That's really fun, and they're like pretty cheap. So,
I mean, 10 minutes down the road, you have the Museum of Fine Arts, which if you're under 25, you can get in for free. So it's pretty cool. There's a lot to do here, and it's important to remember as an MPP. You can strike a good balance and still enjoy the city while you're doing your schoolwork. Take advantage of all the opportunities that you can get to just get involved.
For sure.
I mean, Al was the president of PPAGs. I was involved in the BEL. I was also in PPAGs. I never wanted to be in PPAGs, but it turned out I forced him. But it turned out to be such a fun thing to do. There are so many opportunities for you here at McGill and at Max Bell to do things beyond schoolwork, and I think it's important that you take advantage of that.
You find community in the most unexpected places. I think, with PPAGs and the BEL, we kind of had this community that was really, I mean, obviously related to the MPP, but we kind of just did our own side fun projects that really just took us away from the stresses or kind of all the anxiety that we got through the program, just from the nature of, doing classes.
You will go through a lot with your cohort. I think that's just the beauty of the Max Bell experience, specifically the MPP here, because it's already a condensed program in 11 months, and you're with the same people every single day, and you form a bond with those people, and it's special.
Yeah, I feel like if there's maybe one last thing we would say, I would say there's always something for someone here in the MPP program, so.
Like, there's no specific mold, I think, for what the perfect MPP student should be.
Yeah. And textbooks are in the library.
You don't need to buy them. They're in the library.
Yeah.
Bye.